In the gubernatorial election in Lagos State, the chairman of the Lagos State Parks Management Committee, Musiliu Akinsoya, also known as MC Oluomo, in a viral video on Thursday warned Igbos in the state who will not vote for the All Progressives Congress to stay at home on election day. MC Oluomo made the comment while addressing supporters of the APC at a meeting. He also condemned Igbos, stating that if any one of them becomes governor, they would use offsprings of the Yorubas for ritual purposes. Let's take a look before we come back for a discussion. This has caused a lot of outrage. I'll take some reactions. This is from Agaji, who wrote, "If anything happens to the good people of Lagos State and voters that intend to vote out bad governance, MC Oluomo should be held responsible, and the governor. It is disheartening that the Nigerian police and the DSS will see this and turn a blind eye. Security should be beefed up at polling units." Well, another tweet there goes, "The Igbos are being disrespected and provoked unnecessarily. The security apparatus will be held responsible should anything happen to the Igbos in Lagos. The footprints are all over the state." Well, Joseph wrote, "Nobody is above the law. Why is this man allowed to freely threaten people and nothing is done? We were promised free, fair election by this government. Is this election free and fair?" Well, in the meantime, many people were injured, others robbed, and property destroyed when thugs suspected to be working for the All Progressives Congress attacked supporters of the Labour Party in Surulere. Let's take a look.
This is Eratons Junction, where we are about going out for our rally. The area boys came, fought everybody, and started attacking everybody. They were armed with weapons, guns, knives. They came to the eatery, break everything, plasma, injure some people. So we are ready to work. Look at the vehicle. Look at the DJ. Look at all the laptops. Break the vehicle. Look at this. Area boys came that they were sent by APC government to disrupt every movement by Labour Party. Look at the woman. They serve people. A lot of people.
Tomorrow is election day, Dr. Abati, and we are beginning to see this type of threat happening in Lagos State. This is completely unacceptable. I thought to highlight this story to call attention to the authorities. Dr. Abati.
Well, you have this reign of impunity. some persons projecting themselves as if they are above the law because of the failure of the Nigerian state to enforce its own laws. You ask the question, what has given Musiliu Akinsanya, that's his name, popularly known as MC Oluomo, the confidence to engage in that kind of ethnic profiling, promotion of hate speech, intimidation, issuing threats at a public forum? And then he does so confidently, and as we sit here, nobody has heard that he has been picked up by the security agencies to come and explain.
Exactly.
What gives him the audacity to threaten Igbos in Lagos? He is the Lagos State Parks Management Committee chairman. Okay? So he's also in a way guilty of inciting people to violence and hate. And there is an enabling law for this election. The Electoral Act 2022. Section 128 of it says you cannot threaten people in this election. If you do it in any form, you are entitled to a fine of 100,000 or imprisonment for 3 years. Section 127 talks about undue influence. So it's on the surface of it, by this evidence, maybe provided by a citizen, journalist at the event, he has already indicted himself. But will anybody touch him? Is he not untouchable in the eyes of the law? To tell Igbos, Mama Chukwudi, not to come out to come and vote. Mama Chukwudi, Mama Chinedu, they are all, citizens of Nigeria. They have the right to vote. So for anybody to intimidate them and say you must not come out, something will happen to you is wrong. And why profile Igbos to say if an Igbo man becomes governor in Lagos State, if your children go to school, they will slap them. If they go to the market, they will harass the girls, and they may even use your children for rituals.
Unacceptable.
In a state that has a government.
Unacceptable.
This is something else.
Yes.
Beyond this, the second video, which also made the rounds yesterday. People, supporters being attacked by thugs, prevented from going to, do their last-minute campaigns. And nobody, up to this moment, we have not heard that anybody had been arrested. There was theft, there was violence, there was intimidation, there was harassment. The suspicion is that tomorrow may even be a more violent day in Lagos. And that is why the security agencies must be reminded that they have their work cut out for them. The security agencies that will be on the ground tomorrow should see incidents like this as a wake-up call. And it is not too late yet to call MC Oluomo and his supporters to order that nobody should arrest either Mama Chinedu or Mama Osaboye tomorrow because they want to vote in Lagos, where they live, where they pay tax, and where they are legitimate citizens. Yeah. Who should be part of this?
All we are calling for is free, fair, and credible elections. I mean, we have seen many reports. The latest is a young woman named Amarachi Amadi. I got, news that she actually died after she found out that the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi did not win the election. If you can pull up her picture, I just thought I should highlight the story. She starved herself to death. This was just completely unacceptable. We need to make sure that our Nigerians are safe. This is such a really sad story. Well,
important breaking news to turn to right now. Moments ago, we're just now learning that the ICC, the International Criminal Court, has issued an arrest warrant against Vladimir Putin and another Russian official. Both are at the center of an alleged scheme to forcibly deport thousands of Ukrainian children to Russia. This is a topic that we've been talking about so much on this show. Let me get back to Ivan Watson. He's back in here. He's joining me now with more on this. Ivan, what are you hearing about this?
Well, I mean, the headline here is that the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. They've also issued an arrest warrant for a second Russian official that I don't think people will recognize her name. Her name is Maria Lvova-Belova, and she is the Commissioner for Children's Rights in the office of the president of the Russian Federation. In this statement, the ICC is basically accusing the two of them of being complicit in the alleged abduction of Ukrainian children from territory in Ukraine occupied by the Russian military and taking them to Russian territory. Now, Russia has been very public about saying that it has taken Ukrainian children to Russia, has basically played up the adoption of some of these children and basically claiming that they're rescuing these kids. The ICC clearly views this very differently, saying that this is illegal what it's doing, and has taken, I think, a very precedent-breaking step of, again, issuing an arrest warrant against Vladimir Putin himself, against one of his top officials, accusing them of kidnapping Ukrainian children, basically since the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine last year.
And, you know, Ivan, I had the former ambassador at large for war crimes issues, Stephen Rapp, on earlier this week, and this was one of the issues that we were talking about. And he said he was just in Lviv speaking to a child who was able to be returned from Russia only because their family member went to extreme lengths in order to try to find them after they say that this allegedly happened to this child. And the thing is, it's pretty hard right now to even know the scope of how many children have been taken, kidnapped, abducted, and taken to Russia. The United States has put the number at somewhere saying at least 6,000, but I have heard Ukrainian officials put it at north of 16,000.
Yeah, and it just, this is part of the terrible and bloody fog of war. I mean, you have entire cities that had populations of hundreds of thousands of people that have been smashed, reduced to rubble, children orphaned, and probably bodies that have yet to be found of some of the civilian casualties as a result of this catastrophic invasion. So one of the remarkable, I don't know, one of the things that's going on behind the scenes as the two armies are killing each other on the front lines day after day is that you have prosecutors, you have investigators on the ground also gathering information as the battles are taking place, trying to build cases basically against the Russian military of alleged war crimes on the ground here. The alleged abduction of thousands of Ukrainian children, that is but one piece of this. It is the one that the ICC has focused on the most. So I would guess that they see that there is a cut and dry kind of international law that is being broken here with the movement of juveniles, of minors across international borders without the permission of the parents. I can also already anticipate some of the response that will be coming from the Kremlin. They will most likely deny that the ICC has any jurisdiction whatsoever over the Russian government, over Vladimir Putin. And it's not just them. I mean, I can recall that the Trump administration publicly saying the ICC has no jurisdiction over the U.S. government. So it's a powerful statement. It's a bold statement, the issuing of this arrest warrant, but it will likely have little effect whatsoever on the day-to-day behavior and policies of Putin himself. It is, though, a strong message to Russia and to the Russian military that people are watching its behavior on the ground here. This is just one case, one very high-profile case that has just been announced. I was just yesterday meeting with a Ukrainian police officer here in charge of hundreds of investigators, and he says most of their work right now is to gather information about alleged Russian war crimes on the ground here. You're hearing air raid sirens over my shoulder. Every time the Russian military fires rockets, cruise missiles, artillery at Ukrainian towns and cities, investigators come in soon after to document that and to prepare cases against the Russian military for alleged war crimes.